The pronoun war wages on, everyone. Here we are. I was on Twitter today and I saw this tweet from Master of the TDS. And this is someone who's quite controversial. It's a blue check mark, so they're probably trying to garner money, things like that. I fell for it. I started responding to it. There was a back and forth between me and this person and then other people. I just muted. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to contribute to any more money. I broke my own rule in this situation, and I probably shouldn't have. Anyway, let's read what they have to say here, and then I'm going to explain to you why this take is wrong and why so many people are getting this, gender identity pronoun situation absolutely misconstrued and incorrect. So he says here, they say their pronouns are a preference, but then try to force everyone else to use them. Who are they here? Who are they? Because that's a pronoun. Not sure who you're talking about. I guess you're just generalizing a group there. I prefer pumpkin pie over apple, but you don't see me forcing everyone to only serve pumpkin pie. That second line has absolutely nothing to do. There's no correlation between that and respecting someone's pronouns. There's absolutely no correlation there. And I said that when I responded to this, I'm like, these two things are not comparable things. There are other better comparisons. This is absolutely not it. This isn't you going somewhere and ordering food or having a service provided to you. It is about someone's identity. That is what it is at the end of the day. And people in this space seem to they seem to understand identity when it reflects on them, but not when it reflects for somebody else. For example, Master of the TDS is not this person's real name. However, it is a identity and persona that they have adapted to online or have presented to us online for us to use. The picture there is not them. It's a cartoon. Again, not the person behind the camera, not the person behind the tweets, whatever, using something else to present with. So it's the same thing, like heel versus babyface. As neither one of those are his real name. They're both identities created by him. Melanie Mack may not be her real name. I don't know. Again, she doesn't seem to understand this. She thinks it's like some fantasy world that people have created. And these takes are all wrong because they don't understand that the identity of the person, the pronouns the person is using, who they are, what their gender is their choice. It's their decision. It doesn't require anyone else to validate them. When people ask you to please use proper pronouns or correct gender, that is not them putting down some sort of set of laws struck down by the government to try and force you to do something. It is simply asking you to respect someone else, to respect who they are. And the other thing we have to understand is that my name, Eric, was not a name I chose for myself. It was a name that was given to me by my parents. And I just have to live with it, right? I have no choice in the matter. No, that's incorrect. If I want to change my name, I'm allowed to change my name. I can apply for a name change. I can have a different name if I want. Or I can come online and create a persona for myself, a name for myself that I use. Or I can have a nickname. There's lots of different ways that people identify that seems to be respected and something that is acceptable to the general public. So the idea of the pronoun situation seems to be such a weird hot button topic in a community online where people use alt identities all the time. A lot of the people who are arguing about pronouns and about it being a quote unquote fantasy are literally tweeting or commenting from sock accounts, from troll accounts, where that is not who they are. It's not their picture. It's not their name. It is not who they are as a person. So the irony in it is that they are using a false identity to attack someone for choosing to be who they really are. That's some fucked up shit. How do you even come to terms with that? My identity as a person, first and foremost, is mine. It is personal to me, just like yours is personal to you. Whatever you choose to be, whoever you choose to be in your life is your decision. If you want to be an asshole, be an asshole. If you want to be the nicest person on the planet, be the nicest person on the planet. If you want to be blonde and you want to dye your hair blonde for the rest of your life, go ahead and do it. I don't see the issue with that. And there's nothing wrong with me just respecting that that is what you choose to do. This idea that there's a disrespect being sent back to the people who have nothing to do with these individuals' lives is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. It is simply about respect. If you choose not to respect someone, just don't do it. You know, these people don't seem to understand how identity is so important until they start trying to discredit things that they are called. For example, when they say racist stuff, they don't want to be called racist. When they say bigoted stuff, they don't want to be called bigots. When they're saying homophobic stuff, they don't want to be called homophobes. So they understand that identity and how people view you is important because they try so hard to cover all of that up. So they understand, they get it. Also, the idea of misgendering people or putting people into different groups by sex classification or gender classification seems to be quite okay when someone else is doing it for another person. For example, I've been watching old seasons of Big Brother. A lot of things there were divided by gender and sex when it comes to alliances and things like that. So a lot of times, if there's a gay man in the house, they would say, oh, well, he's default with the women. Why is that? Why do people feel that way about gay men? But if a gay man decides that he wants to identify with a different group, all of a sudden that choice is not afforded to him. He's not allowed to do that. It's only okay when someone else not in control of that person's life decides where they go and who they belong to. That is a problem. It's a problem because they know better. They understand why that's an issue, but they don't care because it's about control. It's about disrespect. It's about oppression. Those are all the things that lead to this simple topic of pronouns. They want people to use the pronouns that they want to give them because they do not want that individual person to have control over their lives and what they do, who they are. It's just that simple. All the other arguments about it, all the other debates about it, anything else in regards to that is a complete fake argument created to hide the fact that it's all about being allowed to disrespect someone and judge them and call them whatever you want to call them. That's all it is. There's nothing else. You are not being hurt. None of your rights are being taken away. No one is forcing you to do those things. You just don't want to do them. So it's just a lot of arguments about nothing really. They don't want people to have their own identity. They don't want them to be who they are. They only care about someone's identity when they can place it on them. It's a bunch of bullshit.